Yes, because she's got a lot to do. A very big weekend coming up of Dragon Gate USA and WrestleCon. Joining us tonight is the lovely and talented valet to superstars everywhere, Trina Michaels. Trina, how are you tonight?
What's up? I'm doing fabulous. How are you guys?
We're doing great. And Trina Mania is running wild right here on Thursday night AMP. I got to compliment you. I love that Twitter handle. That is perfect to describe how fans react when they meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, I got to mention something I heard on another radio show right off the bat. Eric Cannon was talking about you on a radio interview, and he said, one, that you're a sweetheart, and that two, a lot of people are intimidated when they meet you. They just don't know how to act.
Yeah, something like that. It's funny. I'm just little old me. Just come say hi.
Exactly. If you see her at WrestleCon this weekend, don't be afraid to say hi to Trina Michaels. She'll give you a smile and a hug. In fact, I know this for a fact because one of the people that's on our podcast network is named Ed in San Antonio, and he met you at a wrestling show in Houston. You know the name Ed, don't you?
Yep. I love Ed. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. We all adore him here, and I know he's having fun out there in New Jersey and New York market this weekend, as you will be, because it's Dragon Gate USA's one of their biggest weekends of the year. There's the Evolve show on Friday night, and then shows Saturday and Sunday, and you're a big part of the event.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. I will be out there with Scott Reed, Caleb Conley, and Larry Dallas. So
yes, also known as...
They don't call us the scene for nothing. We always cause them trouble somewhere.
Well, you beat my line. I was about to say, you also known as the scene, and you got it in there before I could, so props to you. And how did the stable first come together?
Well, let's see. I met Larry Dallas in Atlanta 2 years ago when he carried me out of the ring after Reby Sky DDT'd me. So that's how our little romance started. And then I met the other boys back in November when I was up here. So
very cool. And Larry Dallas is something of a controversial figure because some people think he's great and other people think he's a pig. One of our friends, Marty Bell, has said some very unflattering things about Larry in the past.
Oh, yes. I've met Miss Marty Bell, too.
So needless to say, the fur flies whenever you two run into each other.
Yep.
All right, cool. But beyond the scene, we also want to get into how you got into the wrestling scene in the first place. What gave you the bug? What gave you the love for professional wrestling?
Well, I wasn't a fan growing up. I will say that I was brought up in a very conservative home, so we didn't watch things like that. Kind of got a little bit into it in, early 2000s, Attitude Era and all that, so totally fits in my style. So other than that, I was out when I still lived in LA. I just started meeting some people out there that was involved in wrestling, and I did my first show for the XPW reunion show, Cold Day in Hell, in 2008, and just kind of took its course from there. So
yeah, it's been quite a course. You've been in XPW, WEW, and Dragon Gate USA. You've been in a lot of different places. And what's the experience been like going from promotion to promotion?
It's been really good. Gotten a lot of good feedback. Definitely learned a lot. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously you're having success with the scene right now, but what are the aspirations if WWE say came knocking at the door? Would you want to go there?
Hell yes. I'd be a fool not to want to. I'm pretty sure with my alternative background, WWE is a long shot. But hey, if I get there, I get there. But we'll see. TNA is probably a better route. They're a little bit more forgiving of my past. So.
Well, now that you brought that up, I guess we can't. It's going to be like the 600-pound gorilla sitting on the fence, and if we don't address it, it's going to smack us all in the face. So,
it is what it is. I'm proud of my past. It's cool. I don't mind.
Well, I'm glad you're proud of it. We wouldn't want you to not be, but at the same time, I know that there was a crossover award for best star in the industry that crossed from one genre to another, and I think you were a little frustrated that you were nominated and didn't get that award.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. An award is an award. It's going to sit on my bookshelf, and nobody's going to remember next year anyway, so who really cares? But it's the principle behind it. I think I deserve it. I think I deserve it more than pretty much everybody else they put on that list. But, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair that you're out there actually making an impact in two different worlds,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not being
Mm-hmm.
recognized as such. Go on, sorry.
Yep. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, like my thing is when you actually look up the definition of crossover, it's leaving one field behind and going to another one and being successful in that next field. And in my opinion, most of the people that they put on their nomination list haven't done that. They have some simple role in a B-list movie or something like that, and that makes them special. And they're just playing themselves, except on a mainstream role, so I'm totally different.
Right, you've pretty much reinvented yourself in the wrestling world, and to be commended for
Hmm.
that. But at the same time, I also have to wonder, you're in the unenviable position of you've got fans in two different worlds, and some of them are coming to the wrestling show that know you from the other career. How do you approach that situation when people come up to you and say, "Man, I loved your three-way scene and whatever"?
How do you kind of approach that? It is what it is. You kind of gotta, oh, thank you, and then downplay it because I'm not doing that right now. This is wrestling.
Exactly. That's no better way to put it. You just tell people that's not what I'm here for tonight.
Exactly.
Well, I don't want to totally dominate the conversation. I know our friend Peter has some questions. So, Peter, if you, please feel free to step in and ask Trina a few questions yourself.
Sure. Simple question off the top is when was the last time in you were how am I gonna say this? When was the last time you were really starstruck in wrestling or whatever?
Last time I was really starstruck. That's a good question. I think probably one of my proudest moments is when I got to work with Mick Foley. So that was pretty cool.
Cool, cool. Now, are you a big fan of mixed martial arts, UFC, Bellator, Strikeforce, anything like that?
I follow it a little bit, not a whole lot.
Okay.
I definitely I like their the showmanship, the respect that they have for each other, and how they show that. I do appreciate that.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna word this. I saw you were working with John Moxley in the past in Dragon Gate USA. Has he still kept in contact with you?
No, what, a lot of people ask this, and I feel really bad. The only thing I can say is we kind of just had that little chance encounter in Atlanta, and that was really it. I unfortunately didn't get to know him very well, so.
All right, fair enough. I've got a really random question here. What was the last movie you saw in theaters? Because I asked myself this question this week, and I couldn't remember the answer to save my life.
No, I love random questions like that, and that is a very good question because I don't know either. Wow, yeah, it has been a while. I couldn't even tell you.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going on my list here. I can't ask that. I can't ask that. I get random questions
Oh,
from
why
friends on
can't
Twitter.
you ask? I don't mind.
Uh, well, there was one question about, you know, do you have any regrets in any of your jobs you've had like previously? Like, is there anything that you look back at now and it's like, I shouldn't have done that or I shouldn't have done this? Is there, or are you one of those people that thinks, without those decisions, I wouldn't be where I am today?
Definitely. Everything you do makes you who you are today. So I'm a big believer in no regrets. Maybe there's some things you're not that particularly proud of, but you got to own up to everything. So, but as far as that goes, I definitely made sure that I never did anything that I didn't want to do. I did a lot of very extreme stuff, but it was all stuff that I was okay with doing. So, and I know what I'm never ever going to do. So, I know where my line is.
All right. Do you follow any sports like football, basketball, hockey, anything like
Ah, big baseball fan.
that? Really? What team?
Yes. San Francisco Giants, hometown.
I think our friend Gigi out there, he lives in San Francisco, would love that answer. That's for sure.
Nice.
And I think my last question before I throw it back to Stevie is, if I always ask this question, if we took your iPod and hit play right now, what would we hear?
Well, I erased all the music on my iPod, so you probably have to go to Pandora on my phone, and it's on the Flow Rider station, so whatever they're playing right now.
Very cool. Stevie, the ball's in your court, my friend.
So, on the music topic, as long as we're on it, what would you say is your favorite genre of music? What do you listen to the most?
I'm a rock at heart, first and always. But I am a big country girl, so that catches a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, I would say that catches me a little by surprise too. What artist and country do you like the most?
Right now, Jason Aldean. He's got a lot of good songs, but you got to go classics like Reba McEntire and Brooks and Dunn. You know, I gotta love them.
What about Hank Williams?
I'm sorry?
Hank
Oh, Hank
Williams
Williams,
Jr.?
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I know is pretty old school, like Hank Williams and Garth Brooks. I go back a few years.
Garth Brooks,
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, the first time totally random note here. The first time I heard "I Have Friends in Low Places," I actually thought it was Weird Al Yankovic doing a parody of country, and then people told me, "No, that's a real country song." I was so shocked.
No, have you heard the live version of that? That's my favorite.
Yeah, my wife has that. She's played me the live version. I thought it was pretty cool. So, but now when you come out to the wrestling ring, you know, when you're coming out with the scene and you're making a scene with those guys, does it ever occur to you, like, you know, maybe we should just throw the fans a curve and like play some country music and see what they think?
Well, I have to get the board's approval on that one first, but they'd probably be like, "That's loose."
So when you're done with the excitement for the evening, when the crowd's felled out and you're backstage, what do you do to unwind after a wrestling show?
Well, backstage, whatever, you're packing up going home. But once you get home, it's hot shower and a little bit of TV in the bed and bunk out.
So it's actually a pretty quiet life then for Trina Michaels.
Yes. I'm pretty boring, actually.
Yeah, see, I think a lot of people would figure you'd be out like partying at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning at a club somewhere. People would just sort of expect that.
I like that for when I'm at home. You know, when I'm at home, all bets are off. When I'm on the road, it's work.
Understandable. And speaking of which, it's the interesting road that you've been on with all these different promotions that you've worked for. But people think there are only two careers. They think there's the wrestling career and the other career in the adult industry, but you've actually worked as both a waitress and a car insurance claims office person. So it's just sort of interesting to me. You've had all these different careers. Now, which one would you say was your most challenging?
Oh my goodness, those were many, many years ago. The car insurance place was cool. It was an office job, so I'm not real big on having to sit in the same place every day and do the same boring crap, so.
Understandable. So that was probably the worst one then out of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, at that time, were you also, when you worked in the car insurance office, was that like, I'm in this boring job every day, I need to get into like movies and be a star and be Hollywood, or was it just totally random that you got into it?
Definitely totally random. I just kind of fell into the adult stuff, and that was, again, it just took its own little wild course. So
understandable. So it's definitely been an interesting career path going through all those different things to the world of professional wrestling. But you're here now and you're on the scene, no pun intended.
Yep.
So it's going to be a fantastic weekend for Dragon Gate USA, and I gotta say, it's very interesting, with these double careers, but Peter has something out he wants to get in before I ask my next question. So I'll defer to Peter. Go ahead.
Just wondering, what is when you're talking about fans approaching you before, what is the strangest request you've gotten from a fan so far?
Oh, strangest request. Somebody asked me to sign one of the folding chairs. It's not all that strange, but it's different. I gotta say, one of the cutest things was, everybody has this big problem with, the kids, and I'm gonna be a bad influence on them. But I remember one of the times I was in San Antonio for RCW, a couple of the kids that come up for autographs and stuff, and this little girl was like, "Can you come babysit me?" And I said, "Well, I live really far away, honey." And she's like, "Well, that's okay. You can fly here." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cute."
It is cute. I'm just wondering, on a personal note, have you ever worked in Canada with any of your wrestling adventures so far?
I have not. I haven't, no.
Okay. I just have another question here. What's one country that you would love to travel to?
Ooh, personally, well, Australia is my favorite. I've been there one time before on a personal trip when I was like 17. That was amazing. I love it. I'd go back there anytime. but someplace I haven't been, I would definitely love to go to Spain.
Oh, that's
Very
a
cool.
good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Spain too. I hear they've got some very good pork products over there, and I'm a much lover of meat, so I go over there and try that Iberian ham.
Hmm.
Now, that's another question I was going to get to actually, and Peter stole a couple of mine, but I was going to say, what is the diet like for Trina Michaels? How do you stay in such tremendous physical shape?
Oh, salads, rabbit food, as I call it. Gotta stick to a lot of salads, a lot of chicken. I don't do beef a whole lot. Every once in a while you gotta have a good steak, but I prefer chicken and all that. And this weekend my breakfast, lunch, and dinner will probably be power bars. So.
Wow. Well, you got to do what you got to do to look the way Trina Michaels looks. So it's rabbit
Yep.
food and power bars. But we do
Yep.
have some questions from our live listeners in the angrymarks.com/chat. And one of them wants to know, Chris asks, what is your preferred brand of makeup and why?
Preferred brand of makeup. I hate to say it, but MAC. I get a 60% discount from a good hookup. So.
Understandable. Take advantage of those discounts where you can. That's one thing you got to learn in the wrestling business. Always save a buck wherever you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Seth Durkin in our chat room asks, what did you think when Mick Foley was in TNA and he mentioned you on the air?
Oh, that was so. I definitely felt honored.
What's it like knowing he's going into the Hall of Fame this weekend, the same weekend that you're working these events?
Oh, I'm so happy for him. He definitely deserves it. And Hall of Fame is Saturday, and it starts about the same time Dragon Gate does. So if I get out of there in time, I am rushing straight over to Hall of Fame. So we'll see.
You'll hop in a waiting cabin, zoom away you'll go to get to Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
Well, I hope you can make it in time, but if not, I know they'll put it out on DVD later.
Yes. Responsibilities first, right?
Absolutely. And speaking of which, I got to ask you this question: when you're out there, performing, and other women come at you like Marty Bell or whoever, do you ever get intimidated at all, or do you always feel like no matter how big and strong the woman is across from you, you can always hold your own and not worry about it? Or is that what you have the scene for? Because if you ever get intimidated, they got your back.
Well, I think Larry threw me in front of Marty last time, so. But no, I definitely pride myself on holding my own.
What is the most physical confrontation you've ever had, bar none?
I'm sorry?
What like the hands down most physical that you've ever gotten with somebody at ringside?
I actually had I've had some small little matches that I didn't do a whole lot in, but I've had a few. But I actually had a full-out bra and panties match against Shelly Martinez in this past February. So that was pretty, I call it terrifyingly awesome.
So what was
I got
terrifying?
my ass handed to me, but it was so cool and I want to do it again.
So you're happy to get in or would it be a stipulation match like bra and panties, or would it just be a regular match? What would it be?
I'm down for whatever.
Very cool. So let's see. What other questions do we have from the Angry Marks chat? Quintastic says none of his questions would be appropriate, so he's apparently afraid to ask. I don't know what that's about. You don't seem shy about answering anything on this show, I have to say. Is that another thing you get? Is a lot of people don't understand that you're not shy, that you're actually outgoing.
That's the funny thing. In real life, I actually am very shy and quiet and reserved, and I just want to be over here in my corner. But you got to turn it up a notch. So.
Yep, that's true. You got to entertain the fans. Got to bring that personality out. Now, another question from our chat room is: since you work as a valet and a manager, who would you say is your favorite manager? I mean, other than Larry Dallas, of course.
My favorite manager. Well, let's see. I'm not familiar with her work when she was a manager, but Trish Stratus would always be my favorite. So, but I'd have to go with Paul Heyman on that one.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely an evil inspiration for me.
He definitely represents his clients with a zeal and tenacity that is hard to be matched.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our Angry Marquee women's wrestling writer, Sierra, has a question for you. She says, based on your prior career, have any of the other women you've met in wrestling had a stigma towards you?
I don't know. I try to be cool with everybody. I don't have a problem with anybody. I got love for everyone, but I don't know. They're kind of women are interesting. You know, you can never quite tell if they like you or not. So I just try to smile and do my own thing.
Understandable. Now, let's see. Quintastic did finally settle on a question. He said, "Can we have a TLC match? Tender loving care."
Aww.
Congratulations, Quinn. She likes that one. You did good. Well, I think we're just about wrapping it up on the AngerMarks.com chat questions. So, Peter, any other questions you want to ask before we bring the interview around full circle?
Yeah, I just want to know what kind of advice would you give to someone who wants to break into the wrestling business in this day and age? Like, is there anything they should avoid, or anything that you would recommend they do first to be a better asset in Dragon Gate USA or any other promotions you worked for in the past?
Yeah, that's good. I don't know. I'm really big on you know, respect and being grateful for where you're at. And, you know, don't ever forget to show that, you know, to the people that came before you. So, listen to any advice that anybody gives you. Learn as much as you can. I don't know. Have a good time.
All right, Trina. Well, let's get out all the plugs for all the events this weekend. They're available on WWN Live, but they're also there for people who come for the WrestleCon. So please let everybody know where they can see Trina Michaels in the scene this weekend.
You can see the scene in Secaucus, New Jersey. I don't know the times, but if you go to Dragon Gate or DGUSA.tv, you can find all the show times and info and location. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'll be posting stuff about it. So Twitter is @TrinaMania.
Now, you actually have two different Twitter handles, though. Is that correct?
I do.
Trina Mania one is the wrestling one. It's where all the stuff you're doing in the wrestling scene.
Yes.
That's cool. Because
if you want to follow my wrestling story, follow Trina Mania.
Absolutely, that's where Trina Mania will be.
You want
all
the go to the other one.
Exactly. So we're recommending Trina Mania, and we're also recommending WWNLive.com because that is the stream for all of the Dragon Gate USA shows this weekend. So your start times will be there. I believe most of the shows start at 8 p.m. Eastern, except for the one on Sunday because that's an afternoon show.
Yeah, I think that starts around 1.
All right, Trina, thank you so much, and we look forward to watching you both live on iPay-per-view, and for those who are going to the WrestleCon, seeing you in person as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for everybody that comes out this weekend. Love y'all.
All right, take care, Trina.
Thanks, Trina.
You too.